Ford's retreat from Europe has left the automotive world stunned. How did one of the most iconic brands lose ground in such a key market? From overly ambitious EV goals to the rise of Chinese competitors, the story reveals deeper cracks in Ford's strategy. Stick around as we break down the surprising factors behind this bold move and why it might signal more than just a European exit. What's happening? Ford scaling back its European operations has left the industry in shock. But what's really going on? Ford's decision to retreat from Europe marks a seismic shift in the automotive industry. Once a dominant player in the region, Ford's iconic vehicles, like the Fiesta and Focus, defined reliability and practicality for European drivers. These vehicles were more than just cars. They were a cornerstone of European motoring culture. Yet today, the headlines tell a different story. A global powerhouse scaling back in one of the world's most lucrative markets. Why now? Europe has long been a testing ground for innovation and a hub for automotive dominance. It is where automakers have proven their ability to innovate and adapt to stringent environmental and consumer demands. Pulling back from such a critical market could signify deeper troubles within Ford's global strategy, or perhaps a calculated pivot to survive in an evolving industry. This move isn't just about Europe, it reflects broader challenges facing legacy automakers as they navigate the electric vehicle revolution. Electric mobility, once a promising frontier, has proven more complicated than many anticipated, particularly as affordability and infrastructure remain major hurdles. Ford's retreat forces us to ask, is this the beginning of the end for its European chapter or the first step toward reinvention? This unthinkable shift sets the stage for a deeper exploration of the factors driving Ford's retreat and the lessons they reveal. Overly ambitious EV goals. Was Ford's bold plan to lead Europe's electric future doomed from the start? In 2020, Ford announced an ambitious plan to electrify its entire European lineup by 2030. With a staggering $2 billion investment in its Cologne plant, the company positioned itself as a key player in the continent's green revolution. However, what initially seemed like a bold step forward now appears overly optimistic. The challenge: Ford's strategy outpaced the readiness of the market. While Europe's stringent environmental policies encouraged automakers to embrace electrification, consumer demand lagged behind. Buyers were hesitant to abandon internal combustion engines entirely, preferring transitional options like hybrids, a segment Ford largely ignored. Unlike competitors such as Toyota, which balanced hybrid and electric vehicle offerings, Ford went all in on electric vehicles. This left the company exposed to economic uncertainties dampened consumer confidence. Moreover, Ford underestimated the importance of educating its audience on the benefits of electric vehicles. Without clear communication and sufficient transitional options, many consumers felt alienated. The result? An electrification strategy that looks more like a miscalculation than a masterstroke. Ford's inability to balance ambition with market readiness illustrates the fine line between leading innovation and alienating your customer base. As overly ambitious goals falter, the role of economic realities in shaping consumer choices becomes even more critical. The middle class squeeze. Ford's premium electric vehicles alienated the very audience it needed most: Europe's middle class. Europe's middle class has long been Ford's bread and butter. Affordable, reliable vehicles like the Focus were staples for families across the continent. But in 2024, economic realities took a sharp turn. Rising inflation, skyrocketing energy costs, and stagnant wages created a perfect storm that squeezed disposable incomes. For many, the dream of owning a new car, let alone an electric vehicle, became increasingly out of reach. Ford's response was the Mustang Mach-E, a premium electric vehicle with advanced features and performance. While it showcased Ford's engineering capabilities, its high price tag created a disconnect with the average European buyer. The Mach-E symbolized innovation, but came with a cost that most households simply couldn't justify. In contrast, competitors like Hyundai and Renault capitalized on this gap by flooding the market with affordable, entry-level electric vehicles. These vehicles offered reasonable performance and features at prices that made them attainable for middle-class families. For these buyers, practicality and affordability outweighed luxury. Ford's misalignment with its core audience revealed a critical flaw in its strategy, focusing on high-end models while the market demanded cost-effective solutions. This misstep not only limited sales, but also damaged Ford's reputation as a brand that understands and serves the needs of everyday consumers. Affordability wasn't the only issue. Government support once propped up the market, and its absence revealed deeper cracks in Ford's approach. The subsidy fallout. What happens when government support disappears? Ford found out the hard way. For years, government subsidies were the lifeline of Europe's electric vehicle market. Generous incentives in countries like Germany made electric vehicles more affordable, bridging the gap between consumer hesitation and adoption. Ford, like many automakers, relied heavily on these incentives to keep its pricing competitive. But in 2024, the landscape changed overnight. Germany, Ford's largest European market, slashed subsidies for electric vehicles, leading to a dramatic 37% drop in sales. This policy shift was not just an inconvenience, it was a wake-up call. The sudden removal of these incentives exposed the fragility of a market driven by external financial support rather than intrinsic affordability. Ford's Cologne plant, a cornerstone of its electrification strategy, now faces declining demand. With reduced consumer interest and fewer financial incentives, the plant's output risks becoming a costly misstep. Moreover, the reliance on subsidies masked underlying issues such as high production costs and limited consumer trust in electric vehicles. This abrupt policy change underscores the dangers of building a strategy around external factors. Companies that thrive in uncertain markets are those that anticipate and adapt to policy shifts rather than relying on them to sustain growth. The subsidy fallout also highlights the broader consequences of Ford's premium-heavy focus and its impact on market competitiveness. Premium-focused EV strategy. Ford bet big on premium electric vehicles, but didn't leave behind the audience that mattered most. Ford's decision to position itself as a premium electric vehicle brand in Europe was undoubtedly ambitious. The Mustang Mach-E was a showcase of what Ford could do: sleek design, advanced technology, and exhilarating performance. It was a vehicle that could rival Tesla's Model Y in every way except one: accessibility. At a starting price that far exceeded what many European buyers could afford, the Mach-E quickly became a symbol of exclusivity rather than accessibility. While wealthy buyers in urban hubs like Paris and Munich might have been drawn to its high-tech allure, Ford's offerings largely alienated middle-income buyers across Europe. In markets like Spain and Italy, where affordability often trumps luxury, the Mach-E struggled to find traction. Meanwhile, brands like Hyundai, Volkswagen, and even BYD capitalized on this gap. Hyundai introduced its Ioniq models, balancing affordability with practical range and features. Volkswagen, a household name in Europe, leveraged its ID series to bring mass-market appeal to electric vehicles. BYD's electric vehicles, often significantly cheaper than the Mach-E, offered impressive features at a fraction of the cost. Ford's exclusive focus on premium models was a double-edged sword. While it elevated Ford's image as a leader in electric vehicle innovation, it also significantly limited its market share. In an era when consumers value accessibility and practicality, Ford's strategy seemed misaligned with the broader market trends. Ford's premium-heavy approach illustrates a critical miscalculation, ignoring the broad base of the market in favor of a niche audience. Chinese EV brands rising. Ford isn't just competing with traditional rivals anymore, it's up against a new wave of electric vehicle powerhouses. The rise of Chinese electric vehicle manufacturers like BYD, NIO, and XPeng has dramatically reshaped the European automotive landscape. These brands didn't just enter the market, they stormed it, armed with a competitive edge that left traditional automakers scrambling to adapt. China's dominance in battery production gave these companies a significant cost advantage. BYD, for example, produces its own batteries, cutting out the middlemen and allowing it to offer electric vehicles at prices that undercut competitors like Ford. NIO and XPeng, on the other hand, have excelled in integrating cutting-edge technology such as advanced driver assistance systems into their vehicles without inflating costs. The result is a lineup of vehicles that balance performance, affordability, and innovation, a combination that has proven irresistible to European buyers. These Chinese brands also demonstrated a deep understanding of consumer expectations. Vehicles like the XPeng P7 and BYD Dolphin aren't just functional, they're stylish, equipped with intuitive technology, and packed with features like customizable interiors and advanced safety systems. European buyers, particularly younger consumers, have gravitated toward these brands for their modern aesthetic and value-driven approach. Ford's response to this surge was slow and reactive. While Chinese automakers expanded their presence through aggressive marketing campaigns and partnerships with European retailers, Ford struggled to adapt its pricing and product lineup to compete. The Mustang Mach-E, while technologically impressive, couldn't match the affordability and feature-rich packages offered by its Chinese rivals. This allowed brands like BYD and NIO to erode Ford's market share, particularly in price-sensitive markets such as Spain and Italy. Adding to Ford's challenges, Chinese automakers leveraged their ability to rapidly iterate on designs and incorporate consumer feedback. BYD's strategy of tailoring vehicles to regional preferences gave them a further edge, creating cars that felt uniquely suited to European roads and lifestyles. The influx of Chinese brands demonstrates the critical need for Ford to rethink its pricing, feature strategies, and adaptability to remain competitive in an increasingly crowded market. Infrastructure bottlenecks. Even the best electric vehicles are only as good as the charging networks that support them. One of the most significant barriers to widespread electric vehicle adoption in Europe is the uneven development of charging infrastructure. While urban areas like Amsterdam, London, and Berlin boast extensive networks of charging stations, rural regions often lag far behind. This discrepancy creates a phenomenon known as range anxiety. Drivers fear running out of charge without access to a nearby station, deterring many potential buyers from making the switch to electric vehicles. Ford's premium electric vehicles, designed with urban consumers in mind, face significant hurdles in penetrating rural markets. Buyers in less densely populated areas often opted for hybrids or internal combustion vehicles, where refueling options were guaranteed. This reluctance among rural consumers presented a major challenge for Ford, as these regions account for a sizable portion of Europe's car-buying population. Competitors like Tesla and BYD recognized this challenge early and worked to address it. Tesla's supercharger network has long been a key selling point, offering convenient high-speed charging stations across Europe. This proprietary network reassured Tesla buyers, giving them confidence to travel long distances without fear of running out of power. BYD and Hyundai, meanwhile, forged partnerships with energy companies and governments to rapidly expand charging infrastructure in underserved areas. These collaborations allowed them to enhance accessibility and attract buyers hesitant about electric vehicles. Ford, however, appeared to underestimate the importance of infrastructure in driving adoption. Its reliance on third-party charging networks limited its ability to reassure potential buyers, especially those outside major cities. While urban buyers may have been swayed by Ford's sleek designs and performance capabilities, rural buyers saw little incentive to make the leap when charging availability remained uncertain. The lack of infrastructure investment also had broader implications. Without a robust charging network, Ford's premium electric vehicles were unable to fully deliver on their promise of convenience and accessibility. As rural buyers hesitated, Ford's sales growth stagnated in regions where competitors were making inroads. The challenges Ford faced in rural regions underscore the importance of investing in infrastructure partnerships to ensure electric vehicle accessibility across all markets. Ignoring this need has proven costly, offering a valuable lesson for automakers aiming to capture a diverse audience. The cost of operations. In the world of electric vehicles, where you produce matters almost as much as what you produce, Ford's European operations have long been centered in high-cost regions like Germany. The company's state-of-the-art Cologne plant, a cornerstone of its electric vehicle strategy, exemplifies this commitment. However, the economic realities of manufacturing in Western Europe have become increasingly difficult to ignore. Labor costs in Germany are among the highest in the world, and strict environmental and labor regulations further inflate production expenses. These costs, while reflective of Germany's commitment to high standards, put Ford at a significant disadvantage in a fiercely competitive electric vehicle market. Every vehicle rolling off the assembly line in Cologne carried a hefty price tag before it even reached consumers. For Ford, this meant its premium electric vehicles, like the Mustang Mach-E, had little room for competitive pricing. While the Mach-E dazzled with its cutting-edge technology and design, its high production costs pushed it out of reach for many European buyers. This created a stark contrast with competitors like Hyundai and Tesla, which strategically chose lower-cost production hubs. Tesla's decision to establish its Gigafactory in Berlin was a calculated move to tap into Europe's market while maintaining control over production efficiency. The factory's vertical integration allowed Tesla to streamline operations, reducing costs without sacrificing quality. Similarly, Hyundai expanded its operations into Eastern Europe, leveraging lower labor costs and streamlined logistics to produce electric vehicles more affordably. In contrast, Ford's commitment to Western Europe's high-cost framework limited its ability to compete on price. The financial strain of this approach became increasingly apparent as Ford's profit margins shrank, forcing the company to make tough decisions, including workforce reductions and scaling back production. The high cost of operations also hindered Ford's ability to reinvest in critical areas, such as research and development or expanding its electric vehicle lineup. As competitors innovated and diversified, Ford found itself constrained by the economic realities of its production model. This section underscores the importance of cost-efficient production in a market where affordability is often the deciding factor for consumers. For Ford, reevaluating its operational strategy will be critical to stay competitive and achieve long-term success. Market shifts Ford missed. Consumer priorities changed overnight, but Ford stuck to a plan that was already out of sync. The European automotive market has undergone a seismic shift over the past few years. Early electric vehicle adopters, drawn by innovation and environmental concerns, have given way to a broader audience prioritizing affordability and practicality. This shift should have been an opportunity for Ford to recalibrate its approach, but instead, the company doubled down on its premium-centric strategy. Brands like Hyundai and Volkswagen adapted quickly, introducing electric vehicles that combined cutting-edge technology with accessible pricing. Ford's strategy, however, was built on catering to a tech-savvy, high-income demographic, a shrinking minority in a market increasingly dominated by middle-income buyers. One clear example of this disconnect was the Mustang Mach-E. Its sleek design and advanced features captured attention, but didn't align with the needs of the average European family. Buyers looking for value and practicality turned to alternatives like the Hyundai Ioniq or Volkswagen ID.4, which offered comparable technology at significantly lower price points. Ford's inability to pivot when the market shifted left it vulnerable to competitors who prioritized understanding consumer demands. The automotive industry is evolving rapidly, and success requires agility, a lesson Ford is now learning the hard way. The shift in consumer behavior demonstrates the need for automakers to listen closely to the market and adapt strategies accordingly to stay competitive. The importance of hybrid models. Could hybrids have bridged the gap Ford so desperately needed? While Ford leapt headfirst into fully electric vehicles, competitors like Toyota adopted a more measured approach, leveraging hybrid models to transition their customer base. This strategy wasn't just about hedging bets, it was about meeting consumers where they were. Toyota's hybrid dominance in Europe is a testament to this approach. Models like the Toyota Corolla Hybrid provided an accessible stepping stone for buyers hesitant to commit to fully electric vehicles. Hybrids offered the best of both worlds, improved fuel efficiency without the need for extensive charging infrastructure. Ford's absence from the hybrid market left it with limited options when electric vehicle sales didn't meet expectations. While hybrids may not represent the ultimate future of the automotive industry, they remain a crucial transitional technology. Offering hybrids could have allowed Ford to maintain market share and build consumer trust while the electric vehicle market matured. Instead, Ford's all-or-nothing strategy alienated buyers who weren't ready for the leap, creating a gap that competitors like Toyota were all too happy to fill. Hybrid technology underscores the importance of balancing innovation with accessibility, ensuring consumers feel supported during periods of transition. Vertical integration advantage. Control the supply chain, control the market. Tesla got it right, and Ford missed the mark. One of Tesla's greatest strengths lies in its vertical integration. By owning key parts of its supply chain, Tesla has achieved unparalleled cost efficiencies, particularly in battery production. This has allowed the company to offer competitive pricing without sacrificing margins, a crucial advantage in the electric vehicle market. Ford, by contrast, relies heavily on third-party suppliers for its batteries and other critical components. This dependency not only drives up costs, but also exposes Ford to supply chain disruptions and price volatility. In a market where every dollar counts, these inefficiencies have put Ford at a significant disadvantage. Tesla's ability to innovate within its supply chain, from battery chemistry to in-house manufacturing, has been a game changer. Chinese brands like BYD have adopted a similar approach, producing their own batteries to maintain cost competitiveness. Ford, however, remains stuck in a traditional manufacturing model that lacks the flexibility and cost control needed to thrive in the electric vehicle space. The lesson here is clear. Automakers who invest in vertical integration can better navigate the complexities of the electric vehicle market, ensuring their products remain both competitive and profitable. Vertical integration highlights the importance of controlling costs and ensuring supply chain resilience to stay ahead in an increasingly competitive market. The role of policy and strategy. When policy shifts unexpectedly, how do you ensure your strategy doesn't crumble? Europe's automotive market has long been shaped by government policies, particularly subsidies aimed at encouraging electric vehicle adoption. For years, these incentives provided a safety net for automakers, helping offset the high costs of production and making electric vehicles more attractive to consumers. Ford leaned heavily on these subsidies to make its premium electric vehicles competitive. However, the abrupt removal of subsidies in key markets like Germany revealed a critical flaw in this dependency. Without government support, many consumers found electric vehicles financially out of reach and sales plummeted. Competitors like Hyundai and BYD weathered the storm more effectively by offering vehicles that were already competitively priced without subsidies. These brands built strategies that didn't rely on external financial support, ensuring their products remained accessible regardless of policy changes. Ford's experience serves as a cautionary tale. While subsidies can provide a temporary boost, long-term success requires a strategy that can stand independently. Building resilience into business models is essential for navigating the uncertainties of policy-driven markets. The unpredictability of government policies underscores the importance of creating strategies that are adaptable and not overly reliant on external factors. Embracing affordability. Can Ford shed its premium-first image and connect with everyday buyers? Ford's future in Europe depends on its ability to rethink affordability. The company's premium focus has alienated middle-class buyers, a demographic that forms the backbone of Europe's automotive market. If Ford wants to rebuild its presence, it must introduce electric vehicles that prioritize value without compromising on quality. Hyundai's success with the Ioniq series and Volkswagen's ID.3 proves that balancing affordability with essential features is not only possible but essential. These models, priced for accessibility, resonate with buyers looking for practicality and efficiency. Ford must follow suit by developing entry-level electric vehicles that address the financial realities of its core audience. To achieve this, Ford needs to streamline production, reduce costs, and consider shifting manufacturing to lower-cost regions. The question is whether Ford can pivot quickly enough to meet this demand while maintaining the reliability and innovation its brand is known for. From affordability to infrastructure, the road to recovery requires Ford to address multiple facets of its strategy simultaneously. Investing in infrastructure. The electric vehicle market is only as strong as the network that powers it. Charging infrastructure remains one of the most significant barriers to widespread electric vehicle adoption, particularly in Europe's rural regions. Ford's reliance on third-party charging networks has limited its ability to provide a seamless ownership experience. Buyers in less urbanized areas often opt for alternatives, where charging is less of a concern. Tesla's supercharger network is a shining example of how infrastructure investments can drive consumer confidence. By ensuring its vehicles are supported by an expansive, fast-charging network, Tesla has minimized range anxiety and strengthened brand loyalty. Ford must forge partnerships with energy providers and governments to expand charging infrastructure. Additionally, the company should consider integrating charging solutions into its dealerships, creating a one-stop shop for electric vehicle owners. By addressing infrastructure challenges head-on, Ford can position itself as a brand that supports its customers beyond the sale, building trust and loyalty in the process. Infrastructure is critical, but Ford's ability to compete also hinges on its operational efficiency. Optimizing operations. To compete in a price-sensitive market, Ford must tackle its cost challenges head-on. Ford's high production costs in Europe, particularly in Germany, have constrained its ability to price vehicles competitively. With competitors like Hyundai and Tesla leveraging lower-cost regions for manufacturing, Ford's reliance on expensive Western European facilities has become a glaring disadvantage. One potential solution lies in relocating some production to Eastern Europe, where labor costs are lower and regulatory frameworks are more conducive to cost-efficient manufacturing. This shift could help Ford lower the price of its vehicles without sacrificing quality. Another avenue is adopting lean manufacturing principles similar to Toyota's approach. By streamlining production processes and minimizing waste, Ford can enhance efficiency and improve its profit margins. Ford must also explore partnerships with local suppliers to reduce logistics costs and create more resilient supply chains. These changes require significant investment and strategic planning, but are essential for long-term success. As Ford works to optimize operations, it must also adapt its product portfolio to meet the evolving needs of consumers. Diversifying the portfolio. Can hybrids and entry-level models bridge the gap for hesitant buyers? Ford's exclusive focus on fully electric vehicles has left it vulnerable in a market where many buyers are still on the fence. Offering hybrids could serve as a transitional step for consumers who aren't ready to commit to an all-electric future. Toyota's success with hybrids demonstrates the value of providing options that combine internal combustion efficiency with electric range. Models like the Toyota Corolla Hybrid have captured a significant market share by addressing both cost and infrastructure concerns. Ford could also benefit from introducing smaller, city-focused electric vehicles tailored to Europe's urban markets. These compact models, with reduced production costs and practical designs, could appeal to young professionals and families looking for affordable, eco-friendly transportation. Diversifying its product lineup not only expands Ford's potential customer base, but also ensures the company remains relevant in a rapidly changing market. With these strategies, Ford has a path forward, but execution is key. Ford's journey in Europe is at a crossroads. Will the company rise to the challenge and adapt to the demands of an evolving market, or will it retreat further from its former stronghold? We'd love to hear your thoughts. Share your opinions and predictions in the comments below. What steps do you think Ford should take to secure its future? Let us know, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and stay tuned for more insights into the ever-changing automotive world.